Hello ladies and gentlemen, Top Hat Gaming Man here, and I've decided to once again talk about the Wii U. As last week people seemed to really enjoy me talking about how underrated the system is to some degree, and the fact that it's the console of the future really. You can play most of the future Switch games today if you purchase or procure a Wii U. So yes, today we are specifically going to be talking about the Wii U Game Pad, the controller that in my opinion is perhaps one of the greatest controllers of all time. I personally remember when the system was announced and I first saw the Wii U Game Pad in advertisements and stuff like that. I really didn't like the look of it. Couldn't bloody stand the look of it. I thought it looked absolutely ridiculous. And to me, it looked like that Nintendo were essentially just trying to cash in on Apple's successes to some degree. First of all, when they released the Nintendo the Wii, they released it in bright white, which looked similar to a lot of Apple products at the time. And all of the Wii logo and all that was all white too, just like Apple. And moving forward to the Wii U, it looked like Nintendo brought that whole formula one step forward. Apple were doing very well with their iPads at the time. So what better way than to cash in on young gamers than basically design a controller which looks slightly like an iPad, I suppose. So yes, for me, I wasn't particularly interested in the design on the basis that I thought they're just trying to hook in the iPad demographic, aren't they? That, for me, that looks stupid. It looks uncomfortable, it looks bulky, it looks bloody ridiculous. It looks like something that Fisher-Price may have perhaps brought out or something like that. It just looks stupid. However, when I actually eventually got round to procuring a Wii U of my own and playing games with this pad, I actually found them to be very pleasurable sensory experiences indeed. This thing is actually one of the most comfortable controllers I have ever felt. Like, look at these lovely curves this system features. Your hand can just slip straight around it like that, and it's just so comfortable. The Switch, for example, it's not got this level of comfort around it. You've literally just got a solid block. You're literally holding a solid square. It's nowhere near as designed for comfort as this pad was made. Also, as well, most tablets, including the Switch, are very fragile. If you drop them wrong, they are going to be broke. You could probably drop this out of a 4-story window, I'd imagine, and it would still survive. It's bloody as durable as hell. Look at that, I'm bloody banging it, and I know it's going to be fine because it's a Wii U pad. They're hardcore. So yes, it's durable and it's comfortable, which again surprised me, as I thought it looked uncomfortable prior to playing it. However, there are a lot of people out there who seem to absolutely despise the Wii U controller. They see it as ugly and they look at it as uncomfortable. However, I'd like to infer that perhaps many of those people simply have never held it in their hands, because I can't see how you could possibly find this uncomfortable. It's bloody lovely. It feels so nice in your hands. Part of the problem I will find as a man playing with many controllers, especially those from the distant past like the NES controller or the Master System controller, is many of them feel too small for your hands. I suppose the Wiimote's the same if you turn it on its side too. You hold them and they're just so small in your hands. So it makes you think, obviously the NES controller, which was originally the Famicom controller, which had very similar designs, they was obviously designed for Asian markets, wasn't they? And I've been to Thailand, I've been to Cambodia, I've been around the Far East, and riding on trains and stuff like that, I'm standing around, I feel like bloody Kane from the WWE over there most of the time. I literally tower over most of the citizens. They must have thought I was bloody Godzilla or something like that, and I'm only bloody 5'9.5" to begin with. So that would give you the idea. The people there are slightly smaller, so it makes sense for their controls to be really small. This one, however, it feels very amazing, that's crap. It feels very nice in my big Western hands. It feels like a controller a man should be using rather than a child. So yes, that's another thing. The old controllers seemed bespoke for children. They seemed great for children to hold because they were so small. So a small controller for small hands makes a lot of sense. Big controller for big hands, that also makes sense. And it's also good as well because children have got something nice and big they're not necessarily going to drop on the floor and smash. And even if they do drop this on the floor, it's not going to smash, as I said, because it's so well built. It's an absolutely lovely controller. I cannot get my head around what people could possibly hate about it, other than the fact that it's a gimmick with a bloody screen on the front of it. However, if you look past the gimmick itself, it's very well built. It's so good. Bloody quality. Like, it was a bit upsetting, to be fair, at the time that there was such a limited amount of Wii U games around, because I felt like I could have used this a lot. It was by far my most comfortable controller to use. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of the Wii U Game Pad? Do you feel that it perhaps gets too much of a hard time? Do you feel it gets disrespected far more than it perhaps deserves to be? Do you feel that the Wii U Game Pad is up there with the Xbox One controller or the PlayStation 4 controller? Also, I would be curious to know in the comments section, what is your favourite game controller of all time? Personally, the Wii U probably isn't my favourite, but it's definitely up there. Personally, I really like the Sega Saturn controllers, and I think both of those are absolutely lovely designs. So, what are your favourites? What do you think of the Wii U Gamepad? Also, if you'd like to hear us talk even more, well, hear me and my colleague Luke Street talk even more about the Wii U, I've got another video up on my Top Hat chat channel, which is a discussion about why my friend Luke Street decided to bypass the Wii U altogether. So, it will be a general discussion basically about why people chose not to procure a Wii U during its life cycle. So that will be interesting too. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out that video directly after you've watched this one. There will be an annotation. Yeah. Cheerio!